Ring ring, it's time for another episode of Crossplay Conversations, the show where we dive deep into the world of video games while keeping it light. I'm your host, Luke Lewis, and today I am joined by the engaged one, the sneaker savant, Joseph Hooper.
What's up, everybody? That's it. I don't have anything to show today.
That is fair. A man who has something to show, and I'm a little scared, but, you know, it'll be alright. It's the 3D printed man, Jacob McCourt.
Hey, I have a huge announcement to make, one that I really executed about 10 seconds before we started this podcast. I have purchased my first game keycard for the Nintendo Switch 2, and so look forward to a review and maybe an understanding of what the heck those things are on the next episode of Crossplay Conversations, our 69th. Nice.
For great content, we'll try to trade that or share that on air, obviously.
Do you guys know what... can you guess what I bought?
Pocopia? Because we were just talking about it before you jumped in? No, okay.
Nope.
It must be... Oh, is it Tennis Fever? Or did you pick that up physical?
I picked that up physical,
Okay.
and that is not a game key card. However, I bought Yakuza 0 Remastered because it was super on sale. I don't own it, and so I said,
okay,
you know what? Switch 2 version. We'll see what these game key cards are all about.
All right.
Hell yeah, we love that. We also love indie games, which we'll be talking about today. So this is the second episode of the week from us because there were just too many games to fit into the other episodes. So you can check out Joseph and I talking about Big Hops and Cairn and Love Eternal and Mio Memories in Orbit earlier this week. Today we're chatting about our time with Hermit and Pig, which is a recent RPG release, and then Fishbowl, presented by Wholesome Games. We'll be chatting about our time playing the preview build that's now available, now heading into Steam Next Fest. But before we jump into that, let's chat a little bit about Steam Next Fest. As of this recording, we're on the precipice of February Next Fest, and when this launches for folks, it'll be full swing February Next Fest. But I'm curious, what demos are you looking forward to? What demos have you played that maybe dropped a little early before the event? How we feeling for February Next Fest, y'all? Joseph, you want to kick us off? I know you've been playing.
I want to go last.
You want to go last? Okay.
I want to go last. I want to hear what you guys are cooking up first.
Okay. Jacob, what do you got over there on the Next Fest front?
Yeah.
If you're in the planning stage or execution stage, a little both.
It's a great question. I am in the planning stage. I have just finished Pokemon Scarlet as of an hour ago, and so that curse is lifted, and I can now focus on new games instead of whatever the hell that is. And so I've made a list of 4 titles that I'm stoked to jump into, and I bet you at least 2 of them are on y'all's lists. Dench Attack, which is the like Jet Set Radio, but a train in Japan sort of vibe. That is available now as we're recording this, so it'll be available during Steam Next Fest. I'm stoked about Thrifty Business, which is the follow-up game to Sticky Business, the sticker shop game. Stoked for that one. Titanium Court, which is a game from AP Thompson, published by Fellow Traveler. It, I think, is a match 3, but also has some weird and wild story stuff happening. AP Thompson worked on Consume Me that came out last year. And then word game from a Word Sickos, Cursed Words. Looks like it's a combination of Scrabble Boggle and a roguelite in Balatro form. So those are the 4 that I'm checking out first.
Awesome. That's a great roster. Yeah, on my end, I'm still very much in the planning stage of, like, I know what I want to play, have a couple things downloaded. First up, I'm really looking forward to the Mermaid Mask, which is from the team...
What is that?
It's like murder mystery vibes, but it's from the team that did Crow Country.
Oh.
And I think it's like a sequel, right? Like, I think these characters existed in a
I
previous
think they've
title.
done something with this, before.
Yeah, this is a Tangle Tower sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well.
But vibes look really cool. I like the art style. We're just in a good era of, like, cool puzzle mystery vibes, so really looking forward to that one. Foreshadowing one I'm sure Joseph is going to talk about. I'm really excited to check out The Eternal Life of Goldman. Visual style, just so cool. Can't wait to see how it plays. I've heard nothing but good things about that one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ones you mentioned as well, Jacob, but I think those are my, like, immediate must download. Really excited to play.
Yep,
Boys.
Goldman's on the list.
Time to get working here because I've already been putting in some hours. All right, I got a list for everybody to lock in and play. Off the top, Jacob already said it. Dinsh Attack. I played that. That was fantastic. Really fun. Very in depth too. Like there's a lot of stuff that I am not like skilled enough to pull off in terms of like combos and moves, but are really cool in that one. Also, Luke mentioned the Eternal Life of Goldman. Absolutely jaw on the floor type levels of animation, like Cuphead on steroids type stuff. And the platforming and like just general mechanics are really interesting. And the storytelling is really interesting. If you guys like The Princess Bride, it has some of that going on in it as well. Very cool. In terms of other stuff I play, Replaced, which has been delayed, multiple times. Actually, in my opinion, has the sauce. I played the demo twice. Really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Combat felt pretty decent as well, which I was a little bit worried about. I played this game called Lilu, which you're playing as like a little toy, and you just have this wrench and you're like bonking stuff and you're solving puzzles. Very
That's
cool
the,
art style.
Monochromatic one.
Yeah, it's black and white, and it looks fantastic, and it felt fantastic. Really enjoyed that.
How do you spell Lilu for those out there? 'Cause I don't think it's traditional.
Lelu.
Yep.
Lelu, everybody. Another one I have for you guys, Helix Descent in Ascent. I don't even know. I learned about this game just looking through the list of demos. I don't even know how to describe this. It's like another black and white style game. The art style is actually insane. It's almost like, I don't even know, like impressionism or some sort of like modern art style, but really cool puzzles in that one as well. Played that last night, had a great time. And I will end us off with Gambonanza. I played as well, which is essentially chess Balatro, which if you like chess, then I mean, it is essentially taking all the little aspects from Balatro, but it works so well, and it's kind of difficult because I'm bad at chess, I guess, which is why I really enjoyed it. So Gambonanza is another one. Lock in, everybody. It's going to be a great week.
You're cooking out there. That's awesome. These all sound rad. And we'll link store pages in the episode description, so listeners, if you want to check out any of these demos, you can. And wishlist what you like, what you're looking forward to. Keep it on your radar, and it helps the devs a ton. Amazing. Let's jump into another installment of Indie Review Roundup. I feel like we need like a news, like breaking news transition music. But I want to kick things off with Hermit and Pig, which I know you both have been playing quite a bit. Jacob, I'll start with you since we missed you on the last Indie Roundup. Give us the elevator pitch for what the heck is this game, and how have you enjoyed your time with it so far?
Yeah, so I'll start by saying Hermit and Pig, I did receive a code for this one, so thank you to Heavy Lunch for sending that over. It is very much, in my opinion, a Game Boy Advance style top-down RPG where you are playing as the titular Hermit and Pig. They like chasing truffles, and they just get involved in a let's say a story that is larger than them, that really they almost don't even seem like they want to engage with, which is great. Joseph is way further in than I am, but it very much, if you have played a Mario and Luigi style lightweight RPG, it very much feels like that. The combat is very kinetic. You have to kind of figure out the right combination of buttons and the right sort of moves to use against your opponents. It's also wildly funny. I think that's one thing that I loved, is this game made me sort of chuckle once or twice, and with that, I'll throw it to Hoop to talk about it.
I loved it. I really liked Hermit and Pig. Yes, everything Jacob said is true. It is essentially like a combination of Pokemon and something like the Luigi Bros. Mario RPG type thing. Where a lot of the combat is either rock, paper, scissors. You have to find the move to counter like whatever weakness your enemies have. But then there's also like little mini games within the combat to keep you engaged. Also, like it does something really smart to like keep the gameplay engaging throughout, so you don't kind of just go on autopilot like you do in a Pokemon game where to execute a move, you have to remember the button inputs. So if I know that this enemy's weakness is punch, I have to remember the combo for punch, which might be like ABB or something. And you have to input that before this little turn timer runs out. Also, that turn timer is just running your entire turn. So if you forget the combo, you have to go to your little manual, look it up in the little book, and then come back and hit the fight button and then input your combo. As the game goes on, the combos get longer. So by the end of the game, you might be putting in like a 6-button combo. And the timer is running even faster, which just makes things a lot more interesting than I thought it would be, like going into the top of the game. And the real reason I love this game is because I thought it was hilarious. It has like a really interesting sense of humor where it's a little bit immature. Like there's poop jokes every now and again, but it does it in like a, hey, we're kind of all adults here way. It's not cringe. It's not over the top.
It's super Adult Swim in its comedy.
Yeah, 100%. And it kind of leans into the idea that Hermit is legitimately a hermit. He doesn't socialize with people, so he has a tough time talking with others. So in addition to general combat, there is also conversational combat where every time you meet someone, you have to figure out how to not say the cringe thing. If you say something cringe, you then take 1 point of damage. So like there's 2 styles of like gameplay, and the cringe combat is like so good that I often really want to say the cringe thing, but you're not rewarded for it. I kind of wish you would take damage but still go down like an alternate dialogue tree, just because some of the stuff is so funny. But yeah, man, like the story is short, sweet. You're eating these mushrooms, gaining powers, gotta stop Big Corpo. I am very, very surprised at how much more I enjoyed this than I thought. I thought it was just going to be Joe Schmo, like retro game, like Jacob said, and it really was modernized and upgraded for somebody who's like grown up with those games, which is awesome.
Yeah, it very much felt like you could play this on sort of an Ambernick device or any sort of emulating device, but I played it on Steam Deck, and I've been really enjoying my time just, sitting on the couch playing it. And the save points are actually very frequent. Not only is there an autosave that anytime you transition between different areas, you do an autosave, but also there are statues of like chicken statues, which you can just go up to, heal yourself, and save, I swear, every 10 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
And so it's a game that you can play in sort of short spurts. Cool. There were multiple times where I cackled. He talks about farting a lot. Hey, you scared me and I farted. And you say that and then you lose a point of damage. It's just great. I've only played 90 minutes. And so, Hooper, I guess I want to know, as someone who's finished it, I think you said it was 6 hours. And to be honest with you, that actually made me want to finish it even more, because I'm like, great, a super cool self-contained RPG experience that is, under 10 hours. Let's go. Were you happy with the way it ended? Were you satisfied? Where is it going to hit on your Game of the Year list at the end of the year, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was extremely satisfied with how it ended. Game of the Year list, I don't know. Like, I haven't played that many games so far, so it's really high right now. But it's just kind of like a really nice comfort food. It was very similar to Crow Country for me when it come out, like that year that it came out, where it's like, man, I just cannot put this game down. I'm just having so much fun. There was a point where I had bought Mugenics earlier last week, and I had it just sitting there, and I was like, I should probably start this. And I'm like, but I probably only have like an hour, 2 hours left of this game. And every time I thought about playing Mugenics, Hermit and Pig pulled me right back in. So, I really, really enjoyed this. I would recommend it to pretty much anyone, especially anyone that played Pokemon. So, yeah, I only have one small complaint, very minor, and it's that you have ultimate attacks in this game. Both Hermit and Pig have like 3 different ultimate attacks each, and they're just like oddly balanced. Like there's one in every ultimate attack, you choose it, and then you have to do this like little mini game, and depending on how well you do the mini game, that ends up determining how strong your ultimate attack is or how effective it is. Some at the end are kind of hard, where I'm like, dang, I don't even know if I ever want to use this because it's just kind of hard to get far in this minigame. There's one minigame that's like a little metronome that you do. I swear every time I did it, I would be playing it for like 5 minutes straight because it just kept going on forever. And Luke, I'd be interested to see how you fare in this one, because it's just like, hey, we're giving you a directional button or like a button to press, and you have to press it on the beat of the metronome, and then it kind of speeds up. Every round it speeds up slightly, and I would get up to like 20, 25, and it's like doot 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 boop 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 boop, and like just getting to 25 takes maybe like 4 or 5 minutes every time, but it's so powerful.
I love locking into a flow state in like a rhythm based thing.
It was sick. Awesome. It was sick. Like, I knew every time I did it, I would be doing like 80 damage after I was out of there, but I was like, okay, well, this is adding 4 minutes to my fight, which I didn't love. So
fair enough.
It's really wild having played Pokemon right before this.
Oh yeah, that is.
And then go and play something like I could fall asleep in a Pokemon battle,
absolutely,
except for maybe 2 or 3 of them, and there's just so much monotony and menuing and waiting and bullshit. And to play this game right after, where it's snappy, you literally have to pay attention. I have bad short-term memory, so I usually have to go into the book, and I'm like, oh, how do I stomp? How do I use my slingshot? And then go back. So, and then there's trinkets that you can get, which give you certain abilities or increase your stats. And then, you play the prologue just as Hermit, and then you add Pig in. I know we've talked about this, but Pig adds a whole nother layer of strategy where you can use Pig as a block, or you can use Pig to spy on your enemy's weaknesses if you don't know them. And so for a game that is just, 6 hours long, there's a surprising amount of depth to it. Sorry, Luke, I cut you off.
No, you're totally fine. It's a good segue, because I was just going to touch on how the most compelling thing about this game to me is just the concise nature of it. I love this era of just like short RPGs that we're in, because I think it's a really fun gameplay loop, but I think it's almost more satisfying if they can put it in this like concise package. So super excited to check this one out. I love the idea of the conversational combat, the characters, the overall vibes of this game look totally up my alley, so I'm really excited to play it.
Yeah, I think they really kind of figured things out here. Like, I think every now and again you'll play a turn-based combat game that builds on that Pokemon formula. Obviously, Pokemon is basically as basic as you can get. Even like playing stuff like Mario RPG or Sea of Stars that add that like extra timing aspect into the combat to keep you awake is nice. But I feel like this really is kind of like the apex, the modern version of like what some like turn-based combat like that should be, because not only do you have to remember the combos, not only do you have a timer, but even like if a enemy puts status effects on you, for example, if you're stunned, you don't just like skip your turn, you just have to hold down the button of the combo longer, and that just like it like increases the tension of the battle. If you're blinded, like it's hard to see your screen, so you might not be able to see your little menu of movesets. So I think all of that was incredibly creative.
Nice. Awesome. Did you both play this one on Steam Deck?
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a $14.99 game too, so it's a lot of cool value in there.
Nice. And let me double check the Steam page. There is a demo available for this one as well, if folks want to jump in too. So, and that's cute. They have a Fungal Friends bundle with this and Smooshy Come Home, which I know Claire's a big fan of that one, so you can get some solid mushroom games for your weekend. Awesome. Well, very cool. Super excited for Hermit and Pig from Heavy Lunch Studio. Jumping in, next up, Jacob, you and I had the opportunity to preview Fishbowl, which is a narrative slice-of-life game from I Miss My Friends Studio, also co-published by Wholesome Presents, which we're huge fans of over here. I can kind of kick things off just because I brought this one up during our last episode of our most anticipated games of the year that we did with Rogan Plays Games. I've been really looking forward to this one, so I was really excited to get pretty meaty preview. It was about 45 minutes. The demo's now available on Steam and PlayStation 5 for folks if you want to check it out. But like I mentioned, narrative slice-of-life game centers on your main character, Alo, who moves to a new city. starts a new job, new apartment, all the while the looming theme is that it's also set during the 2020 pandemic, so it leans into that. It deals with themes of grief and family tragedy and coping, and I'd love to hear your thoughts too, Jacob, but I really loved my time with the demo. It has a really beautiful pixel art aesthetic that mostly focuses on like the top-down perspective, but then you go into some different really charming mini games to do different parts of Alo's life, like making coffee or doing your laundry or washing your dishes. And there's she's like a video editor, so you're doing like audio video editing mini games set to a rhythm game. So they do some really fun interactive ways of presentationally kind of a visual novel game, but there is some interaction in the moment to moment, which I really appreciated. But I think, tonally speaking, I think this game, if it sticks the landing in the full release, which I'm pretty confident it will, I think it's poised to be this year's Unpacking or Venba is kind of what I would compare it to. But totally my vibe. Really enjoyed my time with it. Jacob, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where, you know, it's tough to say, hey, is this game going to stick the landing and be great all the way through? But having played the 45-minute demo, and again, thanks to Wholesome for sending us the ability to check this out early, so much to play, so we got a little early and played through it. It really was like a Space for the Unbound for me.
That's a good
Space
too.
for the Unbound. That's
Yes.
That's the vibe I got from that one, where there's clearly something mystical, kind of larger than life that is happening, and at the same time you have to just live through your everyday life, doing your job, doing your chores. And Luke, you bring up unpacking, because there is sort of an unpacking as you get boxes, because again, it's the pandemic or the start of the pandemic, so you're getting deliveries in boxes and you have to dig through the boxes to find what's at the bottom. There's I felt like the dialogue system reminded me a little bit of a Coffee Talk, just by the way it's framed, where you'll get on a call with someone, they'll be on the screen, you'll have options, and then you'll go back to the top down. It mixes in a lot of elements here, and I guess the only reservation I have is the fishbowl. So again, it's like a mystical toy fish that represents your grandmother that has passed, or is rather there to help you through the grief that you're feeling with respect to your grandmother, who is hugely influential in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing that worries me. Like, will they stick that? Because to me, that'll separate this game from, yes, it was good, to, man, this thing is great. Sure.
I think the fishbowl kind of, I don't know if you can call it a mechanic or like narrative device that is the way they're using it, but that's where it kind of compares to Venba for me, of the way they're able to use that for like narrative flashback purposes to then tie into the overall story. So I think currently, based off the preview, they're doing a nice job of threading the line between using kind of that larger than life theme to be more symbolic of the overall story. But yeah, I'm definitely optimistic. I'm definitely intrigued, and this is one that if it sticks that like concise 4 to 6 hour length, I think that would just be a great fit for this one. But super excited for April, so we don't have to wait too long to see the full game. But
yeah, and it sounds like this one is very low stakes, where there's no real fail states. There is just pass through it. Sure. And so even if you decide to neglect your mood, so there's a mood system where you, for example, can scroll through social media and that'll bring your mood down. But if you do something for yourself, like take a shower or clean the dishes, that'll bring your mood up. And based on where your mood is on a bar, it'll determine what sort of dialogue options you have, which basically it's like a happy dialogue option or a more angsty one at the end. So curious to see how that mood system works and what activities as you go will be added to it. But yeah, I'm totally with you, Luke. Go ahead, Joseph.
I was just curious, like, what is the pacing like? Is it more like a choose your own adventure type thing where you kind of figure out what activity you're doing in the moment, or is it kind of guiding you towards, making your way through your day? Like, what's that like?
it's pretty open-ended within like the confines. So it's set in Alo's apartment. So you choose how you spend your time, but there's certain boxes that you have to check for the day. Of like, you have to do your video editing work tasks within the given day, but you don't necessarily have to make coffee in the morning or clean your dishes or go out onto your little patio and do the watering the plants mini game. So it's like you can kind of choose how much you engage with the other stuff, and then periodically throughout the day as time passes, friends and family will call you and you'll have that like choice-based interaction that Jacob's talking about. So based on what we played, it's not clear like the ramifications of your choices, like how far that goes, but it's pretty open-ended in a sense of like the moment to moment and like how much you engage with the little extra mini games, which I just found really charming, and they were so quick that it didn't like, I wasn't like, oh, I gotta get back to the story. I was like, oh, let me do the cool like up down down dishwashing mini game real quick because it's kind of satisfying and it boosts her mood, so that makes me feel good as a player.
Yeah, mini games take sometimes like 10 to 15 seconds. Like it's not long.
It's pretty
And then there are
snappy,
some longer ones, like the unpacking one, which may end up taking you 60 to 90 seconds to go through.
Yeah. So super excited for this one. Once again, this is Fishbowl from I Miss My Friends Studio. All right, folks. This was a little bit on the shorter side because we had another episode earlier this week, but tons of games still to talk about. We'll be back in the next couple of weeks talking about more demo impressions from Steam Next Fest, more indie game impressions of upcoming releases, because the hits don't stop. And
soon enough, we'll be at PAX East, which is
true.
crazy to think that it is, when we're recording this, or when this comes out, like 3 weeks away.
Speaking of PAX, Jacob, you're doing some shenanigans. You want to plug the good old panel?
Yeah, I very much appreciate you letting me plug that. So on Saturday in the Bobcat Theater at 7:30, Video Game Trivia returns somehow for the 7th frickin' time.
Let's go.
I just very much appreciate 7.
Number.
6 7. I very much appreciate the folks at ReadPop to continue having me back. We've got a stacked crew this time around. We've got Mr. Badbit from the Trophy Room. We've got Adam Gumbert. We've got our two friends from No Small Games, Kate and Emily. We've got Moises. He's a freelance writer extraordinaire. He's the man in a baguette
Moises.
Costume in the actual poster itself. And then we've got Finn from SDGC joining. So it should be sick. Saturday, March 28th, 7:30. If you can't catch it at PAX, there'll be a VOD later. I'm also on a panel with Adam on the Thursday, Game Pretty, so the quizzer becomes the quizzee. So if you want details for that, all that'll be on social. So please check it out.
Hell yeah.
These boys will be,
We'll be there.
helping out with the Saturday panel,
partying,
whether they want to or
vibes.
not. I'll be like, here's a
Moral
scorecard,
support.
here's a camera, please help.
Yeah, we'll have fun. I don't know who to root for this time around. Like, there's like, everyone's lovely humans. We all win, in a sense.
Well, I will say if I do scores this year, as always, I will be taking bribes. So go ahead and put your money together. We'll make that.
What's your Venmo?
Yeah, Steam gift cards. Pay to the order of @thehoopman. Joseph, any good of the order to plug? Things you're working on? Stuff you're doing?
No, just go check out Can't Pause on YouTube. A lot of cool games I'm trying to bring to the forefront. I mean, even just doing this, I'm discovering a lot of games that I'm making little videos on. So go check that out. Go subscribe. I Can't Pause on Instagram. Follow there too.
Hell yeah. I think that brings us to a close. But for now, I'm going to ask you to do 4 things for us before we set our status to away. Give us a follow on BlueSky @Crossplay Convos. Subscribe to our YouTube, also @Crossplay Convos. Send this podcast to a friend because that's how people hear about podcasts. And also give us a review on your podcasting platform of choice because it really, truly does help. And always remember, indies do in fact have the sauce. Bye, everybody.